Middo. He put his music on hold in 2012 to further his studies in the UK, where he earned his master's in financial mathematics. Interesting. He's currently based in New York, where he works as an investment banker. He's back in Ghana to release his EP, defining who he really is. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to welcome Oakley. Good to see you.
Hello.
The last time I saw you were Fritz, but
yeah.
So it's good to meet Oakley again.
Thank you.
How's everything going? Good?
I'm doing great.
Super. Usually my listeners like to, find out more about people that they hear about. They probably hear your music, they're digging it, but they also, I'm sure, want to know more about who Oakley really is. So maybe you and I are talking about Oakley and Fritz, but what is your government name, like they say?
My government name is Fritz, really. Even back in the days, people thought it was my nickname, Fritz. I go by Prt1.
And that's what people know you by.
That is, you said my government name,
yes,
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah.
And how come the switch to Oakley now?
So Oakley was part of my name, like long ago. I never really projected. I never really used it. But with time, it's been a decade now. I've grown. Mm-hmm. Time has really passed, and in the process, I pretty much discovered myself. And so I do believe that names do have effects on people as well. Mm-hmm. Fritz, of course, is part of my name. However, I went through some trying times in my life, and pretty much I had to remind myself that I am strong enough. And then I had to remind myself that God is at the center of everything. And so it all started as a joke, Oakley. So I'm like, wait, what is really Oakley? So I went to find the definition of Oakley, and it pretty much signifies strength. The strength of an oak tree is something that's unbreakable.
Right.
And so I decided to continue with Oakley.
So yes. Basically you've become stronger, as
exactly.
you're trying to say.
And wiser.
And wiser. Okay,
yeah.
it's good. It comes with growth. So, if you have been able to, get it along with you. Some people lose it along the way, but if you have it, that's fine. And it also, like you say, signifies what you actually stand for, strength. Let's talk about you growing up. Where did you grow up?
Wow. So I grew up in Medina.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Ghana, clearly. I was born and raised in Ghana. Went to school all in Medina, and then I went to Infantsville.
Right. So you just heard the announcement.
I was
you
like, yay! Yeah. And then that is why I discovered I could sing. And then I went on from there. Then after Infantsville, I went to Legon. My first year in the university, there was an announcement of a singing reality show. And the reason why I went for a radio singing reality show and not a TV was because
I was first stage fright.
Yeah, and then I was scared of attention. I wasn't too, and I'm like, oh, let me just go. And then, because at that time the prize was a car. I'm like, I need a car. I was 18 years old. I needed a car.
Right.
So I'm like, let's go and do this. Mm-hmm. And it all started as a joke. I'm like, wow, this would actually be something that I could really, really be doing. And then, I went in for the 12, weeks of grilling competition. And then I emerged the winner in 2009 on CTFM's Voice Factory. And then, I released a couple of songs, did a couple of Christmas covers, and then I just vanished.
Yeah, to think about somebody who was really, determined to be not determined to be in the limelight per se, but somebody who really liked music and wanted to be out there. You had stage fright. And so how were you thinking about marrying the two? Trying to be able to be out there but still not showing your face.
I was young. I was, like I said earlier, I was 18 years old. And as well, in as much as I love to sing, I just didn't like the attention that came with it.
Right.
Like you can't even go by the roadside to go and buy cocoa and kose. So it was one of the things that really was. So it wasn't necessarily performing in front of people. It was just the aftermath of the fame, because I've seen a lot of people crash and crumble with fame, and I just didn't want to be. It was one of the things that really frightened me. But I managed to some way, somehow,
work around,
synchronize the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, when you actually released Mido featuring Guru and then the song became popular, did you perform it on stage?
Yes,
a couple of times?
yeah, I performed it a lot of times. I performed it a lot of times. I was invited for a lot of shows back in the days, and yes.
How did you break the jinx? Because then you said you had stage fright, and
So I think
you know,
even in life, right, everything comes with experience.
Right.
So I think along the line, I got more comfortable performing in front of people, and the fact that I was singing in church as well, it helped as well. Because you sing to a congregation like every Sunday, and I still do
that
actually.
was where you started.
Yes, that's where actually. So I started from the church.
Right. What church were you singing in?
So wow. So I started in a Presbyterian church, and of course I stopped going to Presbyterian church because the song is this is the hymns and all that. I'm like, nah, I want contemporary music. So I joined Lighthouse, and then later joined Spirit Life Revival Ministries.
So do you still go to the same church? Do you sing with them?
Because I don't live in Ghana now,
yeah.
I go to a different church like in the States. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do you sing there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I'm actually the worship leader in my church.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So, I mean, what was your childhood dream in as much as, singing or music showed up when you were 18? When you were growing up, what did you want to be? What did you want to do?
Honestly, my mom wanted me to become a doctor or a top banker. And so even when I started when I released my first single, there were days where I would have to hide to go for shows, because I was in school. I was studying maths and statistics in Legon, and it was really tough. And so there were days where she'd be like, "Oh no, you have to put this music on the side, and because money is not coming from the music, so we need to get some stability. You need security." And as of now, you can't be coming home with chicken change and then convince me that, this is what you want to do in the near future, because I don't want you to become a burden on me in the future. So I had to make a decision to either just forget about the music and,
What did you end up doing? You had to graduate, so...
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I did. I had to compromise because times are hard out here in Ghana, so I had to make that decision. And at that time I was young, and of course you're not really allowed to, by culture, you're not really allowed to make your own decisions. And so I had to make that decision to either try to combine both, but I realized it wasn't really working because the courses I was studying in school then were really difficult courses. Even people who devoted all their time, that time said, no, they know the seat up. How much more, somebody who was,
Right.
So.
Do you have any siblings?
I do.
How many?
I do have 3 siblings.
You are number
2.
You are number 2.
Exactly.
And how did you relate to them in terms of what you wanted to do and whether they were supportive of what you were doing that your parents didn't know?
So my siblings were really supportive. Supportive, and there were days where they would try to make sure my mom doesn't hear I'm performing somewhere, like, oh, what are you, of course, I'm from a strict, but surprisingly now my mom is really supportive.
The music part.
Yes, after like a whole decade of
but it's only because she had to see you through school.
Yes.
And now that it's over, she can actually,
exactly.
now think about, helping you go on with all of them. So basically, your siblings supported you, yes, and then you went ahead to win from the Voice Factory. And then after that, what happened? Did you?
People would call this a one-hit wonder, and listen, I'm a very real person.
It's all right to have a one-hit wonder for a while, because then basically you also had your interest elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. After I released Middle, I was really surprised by the reception, because I never would have thought my video would probably be on TV or my song would be played on radio. So when it all came as a shock to me. It even took like years to realize, wow, I actually did this.
Yeah, because you got a nomination in the
Ghana
Music
I'm like,
Awards.
what Ghana Music Awards? Really? Like, who am I? So,
2011.
yeah. So after I released like Middle, it kind of like it did pretty well. And at that time, it was really tough to put your music out there. We didn't have things like Snapchat or Instagram, or even then people were not too.
YouTube wasn't big then.
Yeah, YouTube wasn't big then. So it was really hard to push through. And some way somehow, my music really did pretty well. And then 2 years later, when I finished the University of Ghana, my parents said, "Hey, you can't stop here. You need to go and further your education." And then that was when everything stopped.
Then you had to leave.
Yeah, then I had to leave.
But for that particular song, did you write it yourself?
Yes, I write all my songs really.
Right. And how did you get Guru to come on board with you?
Well, back in the days, I had like people who were really supportive. Kewa, of course, was the one who produced the song,
Right.
and Jessica of Parisa of City FM. She was my manager then, so they were able to pull, one or two strings. And Guru said, "Hey, I like the song. Let's do this."
And that's how you got Guru on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So after Middle became big, you were out of here 2 years after you released it. What did you go to do out there? What did you study?
So I went to the University of Kent in England. It's about an hour and a half drive from central London. To do my masters. Yeah. So I went to school.
You got your masters in
financial mathematics.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And
Yeah.
Did you stay and work in the UK?
So after I graduated with my masters, I tried, but the plan was to finish my masters and come back to Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow I auditioned for New York Film Academy. That same year, and I never heard from them until I was packing my bags to come back to Ghana. I'm like, "Hey, let's come and chop some of their money. Let's come and do this." So I got an email and it said, "Hey, congratulations, you made it." And I'm like, "Oh, what?" So I called up the school, like, "Hey, where have you been? We've been trying to reach you for a while now." And so I found myself in the States exactly a month after I got that email.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in New York Film Academy. I did music and theater for a whole year. So
Wow.
which means that after doing the whole financial mathematics, I had to come back again to the arts.
Yeah. You
And
did
then
that for a year.
Exactly. So after I finished my 1 year course, you'll be given opportunities to do some auditions here and there, and it just wasn't working out. America is really huge, and so like, hey, wait. So first of all, I do have a master's degree, so why am I even struggling? Let me get a job,
Right.
and that's how come I ended up in finance, and now I'm into investment banking.
Right. So basically, in as much as you loved it, it was tough out there.
Yeah, it was really tough out there.
So would you think that if you had spent maybe months after that 1 year stint,
Mm-hmm.
if you had spent maybe months here in Ghana, you probably would have had your music out there doing better rather than actually staying out there and trying to figure out what you wanted to do with what you had just acquired?
Yes, exactly. It was just, you see, in life you can never really plan for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I was that kind of person. I was living in the moment. There were days where I thought I was making the worst decisions, like mistakes, and somehow, in as much as I stopped doing music and people haven't heard from me in a while, I am stable. If I say stable, you know what I mean, because music is really seasonal. You never know what's gonna come your way. Today they love you, tomorrow they don't love you. So I had to make that decision. Of course, I wanna have a family in the future, and I don't want my family to struggle. So I had to make that decision. And of course, my parents had invested so much. If I say so much, a lot, because I wasn't on scholarship in the UK.
You had to pay.
My parents had to pay out of pocket, so there was no option than to succeed.
Right. I'm sure in all of that, you probably wrote a couple of songs. Maybe we want to hear you sing something. We're in a live studio session with Oakley, and yeah, we're just trying to, figure out what he's been up to. He's here in Ghana after, a little hiatus, and he is here to release a new EP and all of that. So we want to hear something from you. Maybe something that you wrote along the way that we haven't heard.
Wow. Nothing is impossible. You were untouchable, so child, don't you worry now. God is incredible, mighty in battle, so stand tall and unafraid.
We like that one too. I'm with Oakley in our live studio session this morning. Folks, it's 9 minutes to 11. We're just, trying to get a little bit more about him and what he's been up to and what he is here to do. I'm sure you have questions and comments, so you can send that to us in 0244340437. We will take a quick break and come right back. We've got our show business news around the corner. Do stay on. Yeah, it's already Tuesday, but I'm sure that something will be cooking up in your home later on today just so your family and your friends can enjoy. If you're doing any cooking today, make sure you're throwing in some Prt1 vegetable cooking oil. It's produced by Wilma Africa Limited. Being plant-based, Prt1 is cholesterol-free oil fortified with vitamin A. And it's the only cooking oil in Ghana endorsed by the Ghana Medical Association. In the coming weeks, look out for your own new label. The new Prt1 label when you visit the market. We hope that you like it as much as we do. And make sure you're noting all the little things that you see on the label, because very soon you will get the chance to work with it. Prt1, love your food, love your life. Are you ready to fly? Are you ready to touch the sky? Your leading powdered milk cowbell is about to make that possible. Guess what? Cowbell will be in the sky with a glowing hot air balloon in a community near you. The amazing part is you could be the one flying in that balloon, and it's absolutely free. Now that's cowbell in the sky. If you want to know more about flying in the balloon, stay tuned into Joy FM and get more details from Cowbell on their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter page at Cowbell Ghana. Cowbell, our milk. So the new Nokia 1, Nokia 2.1 and Nokia 3.1 smartphones are out. They come packed with the power of the latest Android. They are pure and clutter-free. This means that no bloatware apps, hence more memory for you to use as you desire. Also, I love the fact that these phones are affordable but are also a step ahead of the curve with classic durable designs. To add to that, they come with unlimited photo storage with Google Photos. Now these ones are the real deal. Get yours and enjoy. The third edition of the Joy Prime Made in Ghana Fair will come off from the 1st of November to the 4th of November at the Junction Mall, Nungwa Barrier from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. For further inquiries and information, call 0540-123805 or 050-2148-535. Joy Prime Made in Ghana Fair. Remember, 1st to 4th of November at the Junction Mall, Nungwa Barrier here in Accra. Let's quickly go into our show business world with the help of Nokia Android smartphones. Get a Nokia smartphone today and experience pure, secure, and most up-to-date Android always on Nokia. So rapper Kokesi has revealed that he wasn't happy that the prime suspect in the murder of his former manager was left off the hook. He believes strongly that failure of the police to do their work saw Bulldog walk a free man. He was arrested, and I'm talking about Bulldog. Bulldog was arrested in connection with the murder of Prt1. It was in the news when they discharged a Bulldog, who was the prime suspect. They said nobody was coming again. Even the prosecutors were not going to court. I believe our security system is very weak. A very disappointed Kokesi told Lexis Bill in an interview on Behind the Fame on Drive Time yesterday. According to Kokesi, if you are going to discharge somebody, you have to come out and organize a press conference to inform the public, just as they did when Bulldog was arrested. Prt1 was killed in his Manette Gardens home on Spintex Road in Accra in March of 2014 by unknown assailants. He died at age 31. And on the same show, hip life artist Kokesi launched a new attack on the self-acclaimed dancehall king Shatta Wale. Shatta Wale, in that interview on Behind the Fame, disclosed that Shatta Wale is a hypocrite and needs to be straight. He can't be preaching unity and later attack other artists, the Abodam hitmaker said. And according to him, Shatta Wale is his school son. So when he's messing up, he has every right to straighten him. He added that it is a very bad thing that he goes on major platforms to insult and demean other artists, which is not helping the industry. Kokesi indicated that Shatta Wale is attacking various artists because of his upcoming album, but he needs to change his strategy since it's not working. The CEO of Maritime Records advised Shatta Wale to act straight by preaching unity and also desist from attacking fellow artists. The president of the Creative Arts Council, Mako Krekumante, has asked the parents of DJ Switch, the 10-year-old Ghanaian disc jockey, to remain grateful to those who guided her to stardom. According to him, the parents of the young DJ should acknowledge people who made the effort to push their daughter into the limelight, including DJ Fuad, who discovered her. It is humane to appreciate the works of DJ Fuad. It is not because he has been paid off. Ingratitude has been one of the biggest problems in our industry. Why do you think that when you pay Sunny Music for their works, they still have to acknowledge their brand, he quizzed. Little things must be appreciated, and you lose nothing when you say thank you. They should appreciate DJ Fuad for his hard work. Tonto Dike has taken to her Instagram page to reveal her ordeal in the last 3 weeks, stating how she almost lost her only child. According to Tonto Dike, her son was so sick that they had to be placed on admission in the hospital. King Andre gracefully survived, and she thanks friends who were there for them during this time. Sharing a photo of herself carrying King on her back, she wrote, "The last 3 weeks of our lives have been amazingly terrifying. The devil reared its ugly head, but he met a lion disguised as a woman. I almost lost my son, but almost cannot kill a bird. The devil has been defeated in my life and in the lives of my loved ones." If it's your birthday today, guess who you share your birthday with? You share your birthday with John Lennon. You probably remember him with the Beatles and for several songs like Imagine. He was born on this day in 1940. You also share your birthday with David Cameron. You probably remember him as PM in the UK. He is 52 today.
This is #1
Nokia Android smartphones just brought you our show business news this morning. A happy birthday also to Oswald Iswa Mensah, better known as The Ro.
Bet they give me a pound. Tell them put the money in my hand right now. Set up a motor, we need more seats. We just sold out all the floors.
And of course, a happy birthday to all of our birthday celebrants. Kindly wait for our news coming up shortly at 11.
Take me to New York, I'd love to see LA. I really want to come pick you with you. You'll be my American boy. He said, "Hey sister, it's really nice to meet ya. I just met this 5'7" guy who's just my type. Like the way he's speaking, his confidence is peaking. Don't like his baggy jeans, but I like what's underneath."
11 o'clock.
These are the latest headlines from the Joy Newsroom at 11. Ghana High Commission to the United Kingdom begins registration of Ghanaians ahead of possible voting of Ghanaians in the diaspora. And President Akufo-Addo assures the interest of Ghana will be supreme in any dealings with China. The Ghana High Commission in the United Kingdom has begun registration of Ghanaians there ahead of the possible implementation of the Representation of the People Amendments Law, RUPAL, for the 2020 elections. The law was passed in 2000.